Hi, we just finished meeting for pronunciation practice on Tuesday, May 16th, and we started with infrastructure here. Infrastructure or chur. Infrastructure, infrastructure. Orthodox. And this led to a comparison of the ending of this word docs because you have to open more. Orthodox. Ah. So if it sounds like ducks, you're not opening your jaw enough. So ducks, keep your jaw very high and mouth more closed. Ducks. Lucky duck has the same vowel. So if you have trouble finding the position for ducks, try luck because sometimes that's more common. Luck, duck, lucky duck. And then docs, in this case it's spelled DOX, but it sounds like docks, like in the water, or docs, short nickname for doctors. Docs. This one you open a lot. Docks. I saw some ducks by the docks. And also that same vowel is in dogs. Dogs. Hot dogs. So putting them all together in a sentence. Thank you, Daniel. I saw a lucky duck by the docks eating hot dogs. So, Istanbul, Istanbul. And that reminded me of the song, Istanbul, not Constantinople. So, if you want to hear a fun song that will get stuck in your head the rest of the day, there you go. Chemistry, chemistry. Alone, alone. Spinach. And I don't know why my entire life I've said spinach with a J. I I'm going to ask more friends and ask them how they pronounce it. Listen, actually, when you ask somebody how they pronounce something, if you want to really know how they pronounce something, don't ask them. Just try to get them to say it. Like, what does spin dip stand for? What is the spin in spin dip? To try to get them to tell you it's spinach. Or listen, do they say spinach? I'm very curious. And that is what it stands for. Spin is for spinach dip. Usually there's artichokes in the spinach dip, sometimes not. So spinach, artichoke. The T changes to a D, artichoke. Spanish. So spinach, Spanish. Open more for the ah. And I got confused in this section, but then figured it out. Excuse with an S is the noun. That's not an excuse. Don't give me that excuse. If it's the verb, it's going to sound like a Z, excuse, which I don't know what happened to my little verb there. Excuse. I only spelled it this way in parentheses to remind you that it's like you. Excuse. Excuse me. And because the ek is not stressed, you can usually drop it and just say excuse me and nobody notices. That's you don't even notice if they say excuse or excuse because it's hard to hear the ek. But you can't shorten the noun. You have to say that's not an excuse. You can't say that's not a excuse. Square, an SKW combination, that square. You have to round your lips before you even begin the K. Square. Ultimately. I don't know why we don't change this T to a D because it is between two voiced sounds, and I can hear Eva asking that question, so it makes me think of it and be more aware of it now. Ultimately, you will be successful, and successful, and you have to stop the airflow. You can't skip it and say successful. You have to go to the K position, suck, like you're going to say suck. Successful. Successful. Unfortunately, I have not been successful yet. Embarrassed. Embarrassed. The ed in this word sounds like a T, embarrassed, but we don't release the T, so you won't hear it unless there's a vowel after it. I was so embarrassed, or I was so embarrassed after I said that. And this word, I had to look it up because it did not sound like I expected it to. Indefatigable. 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 I will have to practice that one to say it more smoothly because this is my first time saying it. It means unable to be fatigued, to be made tired. Schedule. I put a J because you do stop the airflow for a little bit. Sked. But as you keep the airflow going for the wool, the air comes between the top of your tongue and the roof of your mouth and makes the zh noise. So if you hear the zh, that's okay. Schedule. 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 You do have to round your lips. If you don't round your lips for the wool, it'll sound like schedule, and that's not quite the same. Schedule. And pet can be a noun. I have a pet. It's a dog. And it can be a verb. Can I pet your dog? So I think that's where we ended. Thank you. It was a good time seeing everyone. And if you weren't here, I hope you can join us sometime. If the video was helpful, I'm really glad and I hope you share it. Thanks. Have a good day.